If you drove down a major suburban commercial street anytime in the late 2010s, you likely noticed an unusual retail phenomenon. Mattress Firm stores were popping up everywhere. People started realizing that not only were there multiple locations at the exact same intersections, but the lots were completely deserted. No cars, no foot traffic, just rows of beds under fluorescent lights. The internet decided this had to be a giant money laundering scheme. The actual explanation involves aggressive private equity, sky-high profit margins, and a multi-billion-dollar corporate fraud. To understand how these stores stay open, we have to look at the product itself. Mattresses are not impulse buys. The average person replaces their bed every 8 to 10 years. A storefront completely devoid of customers is not a front for illicit cash. It operates on a mathematical ladder that simply does not require daily volume to survive.
The production of a modern mattress is heavily automated. When you combine cheap materials like polyurethane foam and steel coils with robotic assembly, the actual cost to manufacture a bed is remarkably low. This chart shows the extreme economics of the industry. A premium mattress that costs about $300 to make can sit on a showroom floor with a price tag of $3,000. That is a 900% retail markup. Compare that single unit profit against the overhead. These showrooms operate with minimal inventory on hand, shipping directly from regional warehouses, and they usually staff 1 or 2 commission-based salespeople per shift. The fixed costs are negligible. Run the numbers and the break-even point drops through the floor. A typical retail location only needs to sell around 20 mattresses an entire month to cover its rent, utilities, and payroll. Sell 1 bed every other day, and the store stays in the black. The extreme leverage of that profit margin means these stores are designed to look empty while quietly generating steady revenue. High margins alone don't explain putting 3 stores on the same street. That comes down to a private equity strategy known as relative market share, dominating a specific geographic area to choke out competitors and consolidate advertising costs. Starting in the early 2000s, Mattress Firm executed this strategy through a massive corporate roll-up. They systematically bought out large regional competitors, acquiring hundreds of locations from brands like Sleep Train and Sleepy's. Instead of closing the newly acquired stores that sat right next to their existing locations, Mattress Firm simply swapped the signage. Suddenly, a single shopping center housed competing retail spaces operating under the exact same brand name. Behind the scenes, the expansion was being driven by outright corruption. Mattress Firm discovered their internal real estate executives engaged in a kickback scheme with outside developers, accepting luxury watches, diamonds, and expensive vacations as bribes. In exchange for those payouts, the executives approved hundreds of terrible, above-market lease agreements. They were financially incentivized to sign for new storefronts, regardless of whether the location made geographic or economic sense. The bizarre clusters of stores lining American highways were the physical footprint of this internal fraud. The executives weaponized the company's own roll-up strategy for personal gain. The situation escalated in 2016 when South African retail conglomerate Steinhoff International purchased Mattress Firm. Steinhoff paid $3.8 billion for the American mattress chain. Financial analysts immediately noted that this figure was more than double the company's actual market valuation. The reasoning behind that massive overpayment became clear the following year. In December 2017, Steinhoff's independent auditors refused to sign off on their financials, exposing a deep well of accounting irregularities. A forensic investigation eventually revealed that a small group of Steinhoff executives had spent 8 years engineering $7.4 billion in fictitious transactions. They booked fake revenue from shell companies to hide severe operational losses across their global subsidiaries. The market reaction was instantaneous and brutal. Steinhoff's stock price collapsed overnight, wiping out 90% of its market value in days. Mattress Firm was caught in the blast radius, trapped under the weight of thousands of redundant, fraudulently signed leases, and its parent company obliterated. The retailer was left financially crippled. In October 2018, Mattress Firm officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. While bankruptcy usually signals the end of a business, this filing was a highly calculated legal maneuver. Chapter 11 allowed Mattress Firm to unilaterally break over 700 of the toxic, overpriced leases saddling their balance sheet. By legally severing themselves from the real estate deals brokered by their corrupt executives, the company cleared its debts rapidly. They exited bankruptcy entirely restructured and healthy a mere 2 months later. The final move in this corporate restructuring occurred when Tempur Sealy, the world's largest bedding manufacturer, acquired Mattress Firm in a $5 billion deal, creating a massive new entity called Somni Group. This merger creates a system of vertical integration. Somni Group now owns the massive manufacturing plants producing the mattresses, as well as the nationwide network of retail storefronts selling them directly to the public. The viral internet theorists were wrong about local store managers laundering cash in empty parking lots. But they were absolutely right to trust their instincts. There really was a multi-billion-dollar corporate scam hiding right there in plain sight.